Guys, welcome back to another video here on the channel. In today's video, we've actually got a banger video for you guys yet again. It's cold emails versus Upwork. Which one should you use? And the reason why I'm doing this video, guys, is because I get a lot of people asking me like, Montel, why do you use Upwork? Don't you use cold email? What's the difference between using cold email over Upwork? Why would you use Upwork over cold email? Isn't Upwork oversaturated? Isn't Upwork this? There's so many crazy different things, guys. So what I'm going to do in this video is break down everything you guys need to know about cold emails versus Upwork, basically. So long story short, guys, what I'm going to be doing is I've got notes on my computer. I'm going to share my screen with you guys and put myself in a little bubble, or a little circle, should I say, at the bottom right hand corner, because I know that you guys like those styles of videos now. And then what we'll do is we'll just jump straight into this. But before we do that, please drop a like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notification bell and make sure you jump straight into this and watch until the end, because I'll be showing you my end verdict on what you should be doing if you're a beginner and that sort of stuff. So let's jump straight into this. So guys, here we are on my computer, right? I just want to basically start by saying, kind of like my premise is this. First of all, I know that Upwork kind of like watch my videos, which is kind of crazy. I actually got told one time to actually delete a video by Upwork themselves, or they were going to remove my account, which is actually kind of crazy. I'm not sure if I should say that on video or whatnot, but long story short, I think they said something about I misrepresented Upwork in some way, shape or form. So long story short, I am not affiliated with Upwork in no way, shape or form. I can just very, very much vouch for that particular platform, if you will. Now, just real quick, both cold emails, right, and Upwork both have their use cases. There's a time where you should use Upwork, and there's a time when you shouldn't use Upwork, and then there's a time when you should use cold emails and when you shouldn't use cold emails, in my opinion. Now, both of these, right, before I even get into this, I need to say this. Both of these platforms work. There are people out there with agencies making 10K per month, 20K per month, 30K per month with just Upwork, and that's all they swear by. And then there's also agencies out there that are making 10K per month, 20K per month, 30K per month just through cold emails as well. It's kind of, the funny thing is like where your attention goes, energy flows, or whatever that thing is. You know, the grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So what I actually do recommend for this is stick to one of these and master them until you get to like maybe like 2.5K, 5K or something like that per month for your agency, and then start adding on additional stuff. What I've actually found though, guys, is as well, the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of people try to chase two different rabbits at once, if you will. As I think it's Confucius that said this, he who chases two rabbits at once catches none. So you want to realistically stick to one of these and really master it until you can actually prove to yourself that you can easily, well, I wouldn't say easily, but you can consistently get clients using one of these outreach methods, right? Once you've done that, you've quote unquote established your proof of concept, and then you can move on. That's one of the big things. If you're going to take anything from this video, pick one of these platforms or any sort of other cold outreach method you want and stick to it until you've actually mastered it, guys. Like I'm talking like at least give it a 90-day run, 90 days. Make sure you're doing at least 30, 40, 50 outreach on that particular platform per day for 90 days straight. Give that a proper run. But long story short, now I was kind of want to premise with this. Now Upwork technically, in my opinion, right, this is my opinion, is better for getting lower ticket clients. But it's better for building cash flow. The reason for that is because it's so much easier to get lower ticket clients, but frequently. So like what I mean by that is some people will go months and months and months and months without getting a single client via cold email. And then when they do, it's like a 2.5K per month client. Whereas with Upwork, right, what you do instead is you use Upwork and you can get literally like 2-3 clients a week. I'm not even joking. I've literally had students, right, just recently, I think it was 2 of them, where I've had 2 students close 2 clients in a single day, or was it a single like 24-hour period or something like that, where there's been a student coming to my program. They've actually used agency invitation, which by the way is still open for enrollment. Of course, you guys, link is below if you want to kind of like look at that. So I do recommend it because this is actually my own system, if you will, because I'm going to be showing you the verdict between hybrid system and not using hybrid system, using Upwork, using cold emails, that sort of stuff. It's all taught inside the program. So enough plug-in, but long story short, I've genuinely had students, multiple at this point, where they've actually closed multiple clients in a single day, which is crazy to me because think about it. There's people out there that can't even get a single client, yet there's students in my program that are getting 2 clients in one day. Literally insane, guys. Now, again, Upwork, in my opinion, is better for getting lower ticket clients, but at a higher frequency, which is actually quite good because then you can actually build cash flow. Now, cold email, though, on the other hand, is better for headhunting. What I mean by headhunting is you can literally right now go and send a friggin' email to friggin' like Bill Gates or something like that, or like Elon Musk or some huge name. And the reason for that is because most people will have an email address. Now, that doesn't mean that you're probably going to get through to Elon Musk or Bill Gates. It's probably like an assistant, obviously at that point. Well, it'd actually be irresponsible if it wasn't assistant because these guys are like the richest men in the entire world. They're probably super super busy, obviously. So yeah, my point though is that you can actually headhunt for the business owner, which basically means you can go after higher ticket businesses that you already have seen on paper that's higher ticket business. You can literally go and research a business, find out who the owner is, headhunt for that specific owner, and then literally reach out to them via their email if you find their email. So that basically means it's a better way. Cold emails, in my opinion, is a better way for higher ticket clients and for going after a specific niche. On Upwork, you can't really niche down on Upwork. And by the way, if you're not familiar with Upwork, guys, Upwork is just literally a freelance website you can go to. Just check it out. It's a freelance website. We can go create a freelancer account, not an agency account. Create a freelancer account. You go out there and you apply to jobs as an agency though, guys. So I personally, right, this is the way how I use Upwork. I personally use Upwork to close social media management clients only. These days, technically, I don't really need to use Upwork pretty much ever again, just because Upwork I see as like a stepping stone to making your going from zero to like your first 2.5K or zero to like your first 5K per month. And then after that, you've got that cash flow. Once you've got cash flow, guys, SMA becomes so much more easier because you can hire the best of the best media buyers. You can get best of the best software. You can go and get best of the best like virtual assistants. You can even buy your media buyers Facebook ad courses and stuff like that and just give them to your media buyer and train them up that way. Like literally, guys, once you've got cash flow coming in, the game gets so much easier. So you don't even really need to use Upwork. Upwork to me is like a way from going to, like I said, from zero to like 2.5K. Now, the way how I initially used Upwork was I used Upwork to close smaller ticket, right? Social media management clients only. It doesn't matter what niche they were in. I did not care. As long as they had the money and I literally was just posting on their accounts, I was going after them. Now, so basically, guys, I use Upwork only to close social media management clients, despite this not really being my main service. Now, the way how I basically, what I mean by that is Upwork for social media management clients, outside of Upwork is for Facebook ads, e-com brands, right? So it's not really niche down on Upwork. You can't really niche down. And I just see Upwork as cash flow. Now, I then use basically cold emails to offer one service to one niche, and that is Facebook ads to e-com. So I use Upwork to build cash flow, take that cash flow, and I start doing cold emails, and I get virtual assistants to do my cold emails for me. And what I'm doing there is reaching out to e-commerce brands for Facebook ads. So it's one niche, one service. But on Upwork, it's still one service, which is social media management, but it's to every frigging single niche. It doesn't even matter, and it's just for cash flow. That's the way I would say it. It's almost like it's like a stepping stone to my real agency. Upwork is over here, and then my real agency is over here, if you will. That's kind of like how I see it. Now, let's actually break down the cold email benefits, right? Like, I'm going to reel these off really quickly. Now, for cold emails, right, I actually genuinely think it's better, when you use cold emails, one of the benefits is it's better to go after specific people. Because what you can actually do, guys, is you can actually get very specific with the actual niche you're going after and the very person that you're actually looking for as well. And that's unlike Upwork. Like I said, Upwork, you can't really niche down to like dentists or real estate agents or gyms, but that's okay, because that's not what Upwork I see as for anyway. That's not really the aim with Upwork for me. Now, again, it's better for high ticket clients because you can headhunt top businesses and business owners and people who own those businesses. Another benefit of cold emails is that it's actually very cheap to start, right? Now, if you have what we like to call inside of Agent Reputation, your internal professional domain, that would be like montelmedia.com, right? That would be your internal professional domain. So your actual email would be montel@montelmedia.com, right? That would be what you call your internal professional domain. That's used for registering, registering your email for certain software that you're going to be using, internal kind of like conversation that you already have with your existing clients, if you will, which is why it's called the internal professional domain. Whereas if you've got a burner domain, right? So you technically do want a burner domain, guys, because you don't want to burn out your first domain. Burning out your first domain, your internal professional domain, basically means if you're sending cold emails, right, from your actual professional domain that hosts your website. So let's say you've got a website and it's montelmedia.com. That's your website. The email address of that would be your, probably 9 times out of 10, it's going to be your first name, which is again Montel, @montelmedia.com. If you use that to send emails, chances are what's going to happen is eventually over time, it's going to ruin its reputation. It's actually going to help you. It's actually going to decrease, if you will, your actual website's kind of like reputation, if you will. It's also going to break your reputation on cold emails, and your email's probably going to get blacklisted. Then you're going to have to create a whole other website or move your website to another domain. It's stressful. So what I recommend to avoid that is actually getting an internal professional domain and then getting a second domain, which is called a burner domain. Your burner domain would be like montelmedia.net, net at the end, .net at the end. The benefit of that is that it doesn't burn out your internal professional domain. So it would be montel@montelmedia.net. That's the one that you send cold emails from. Now, if you think about it, each domain, you get those from Google, by the way, each domain is going to cost you about $6 per month. So if you times that by 2, that's $12. So as you can see, one of the benefits is that you can actually start with cold email for literally like $12 per month. But there's a catch to that. This is something that a lot of gurus don't say. Yes, you can start your friggin' agency with like $12 per month and then a calendar software, which is another $15 per month. And then probably like a contract software, which is another $10 per month. So you're not looking at much right there. I think that's like $40, $30, $37 or whatever it is. You guys can work that out in the back end. $37, I think I actually just said just then. But there's a catch. That is going to be the slowest, most tedious, time-consuming way to actually start an agency. Do you know how long it takes to do lead sourcing, prospecting, first line writing? It's extremely long, guys. Unlike Upwork. So let's get to the next point. So another benefit of cold emails, right, is unlike Upwork, right? With Upwork, there's certain terms, policies, things that are against their terms and policies that you can't do. And there's kind of like restrictions because you're on Upwork's platform. They own that platform, if you will. So you have to respect their terms and conditions and stuff like that. So with Upwork, there's not really that many terms and conditions. Obviously, you don't want to be spamming people, and there's GDPR rules or whatever it is, GDPR. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's all sorts of those crazy rules, right? With cold email, there's much more freedom than there is Upwork. I should make that very clear. Cold emails, much more freedom. You can put all sorts of links in your cold emails. You're free to do whatever you pretty much want. You can put pictures in there. You can do all sorts of crazy cool stuff with your cold emails. Although, to be honest with you, I personally don't actually recommend putting links or pictures in your emails because it actually decreases your deliverability. Deliverability is extremely important. With emails as well, you can actually automate your follow-ups using tools such as Lemlist. So when, for example, did I say cold emails? Yeah. Cold emails, you can actually automate your follow-ups. Upwork, you can't. So long story short, what I mean by this is if you use a tool like Upwork, right? Not Upwork, Lemlist. If you use a tool like Lemlist, what you can actually do is you can actually send out an email, initial email, that's like your body email. Then if somebody doesn't reply to that within like 3-4 days or something like that, you can then send out an kind of like an automated pre-written message to bump up this initial email that you've already sent, and that can actually be pre-written. So what you can do is you can go and grab a whole bunch of leads, which I don't really recommend if you're just going to scrape leads in the blast. I don't recommend that at all. But what you can do is put a whole bunch of leads for an actual proper campaign, and you can have like drip emails going out to people using stuff like Lemlist. Lemlist is a cold email tool. And then another one of the best benefits of cold emails as well, this is really important, this one, is that your statistics, your stats can be tracked. Your open rate, your bounce rate, your reply rate or response rate, whatever you want to call it, can actually be tracked down to the very percentage and how many people that have actually opened your email and responded back to you and stuff like that. So that allows you to actually look at your numbers, and it's easy because, well, if you're not getting a high open rate, well, then you know your subject line's kind of crappy. If you're not getting a good response rate, that means your offer's not strong enough. So you can actually identify certain places, if you will, once you send out enough emails, that is, where your actual problems are lying, if you will. So you can actually look at the numbers, and what gets tracked gets measured, and what gets measured gets managed, if you will, as they say. So there's a lot of cons though to cold email. So those are the benefits. Here are the cons, right? Now it can take, right? This is the craziest thing about cold emails. I've seen that some people, when they're actually starting and setting up their actual cold email, their burner, we'll call this the burner domain, right? It can actually take them up to about 48 hours just to set up all the records before they even start warming up their email. What I mean by that is when you actually grab a cold email, you can't just go and buy a domain from Google and then just start sending emails. Well, technically you can do that, but is that best practice? No, not whatsoever. If you guys, if that even makes sense. What you need to do is you need to set up your SPF record, your DKIM record, and a thing called a DMARC record. These all help your deliverability. And the funny thing is you have to do them in certain orders. One record has to be done before the other, because this record needs to validate first before this record can be changed in your DNS settings, which alone is slightly technical as well. So I guess that would be a little bit of a con. It's slightly technical, but it can take up to 48 hours for these DNS records to propagate, basically, which means you're wasting 48 hours of your time just setting these things up. Now, that's not too much of a deal when you realize that with people that have come inside of agent tramitation and use agent tramitation, they've literally gone from 0 to making like 1.5K, close the client within that same time period. So whilst you're messing about setting up your DNS records, you could have gone to Upwork, started an account, applied to a couple of jobs, right? And I've literally had students close their first client from 2 days worth of outreach. So it doesn't sound, 48 hours doesn't sound like a lot of time, but realistically, if you're using Upwork, that can literally land you a client from 0 to like 1.5K straight paid up front and stuff like that. So yeah, there you go. It doesn't sound like a lot of time, but once you actually do the comparison, it can be a lot of time. Now, not only that, right? So once you've actually set up these records, you then need to warm up your email for at least 14 days before sending a single cold email. You can't just grab an email, set up your records, and then just start blasting businesses and sending actual cold emails. What you need to do is you need to warm up your email domain, your burner domain, for at least 14 days before sending a single cold email. And the funny thing is, again, I've literally had students within this 16 days. So that's basically 16 days worth of time just gone. That's half a month. That's 48 hours, 2 days gone, setting up DNS records. Then you've got another 14 days messing about, warming up your kind of like email, because you have to warm your email up. Do not send cold emails without warming it up. That basically means you've wasted 16 days just getting everything set up. By that time, I have literally had students close 4 clients in 2 weeks and go from 0 to 2K. I think it was just slightly over 2K per month with their agency, just using Upwork. So again, which one do you really want to be messing about with? You know what I'm trying to say? There's pros and cons to everything, guys. Not only that, but here's another con. This is probably the biggest con I found with cold emails, so this probably should have been first. But long story short, lead sourcing, which is finding leads to reach out to. Think about it. How do you reach out to a business? Well, first of all, you need businesses to reach out to, which is you need to go to Google. You need to find these businesses in some way, shape, or form, which takes a long time. So you need to find leads. You then need to qualify those leads, aka prospect those leads, which is, you've got leads now in a Google sheet, but you want to make sure that the leads are good quality to reach out to. So you need to do prospecting. Find out if the business is actually worthy of reaching out to in the first place. So that's prospecting. That takes even longer than finding the leads. Finding leads takes ages. Then once you found the leads, you have to qualify them. This is longer than this particular thing. And then once you've actually started, finding these businesses, you qualified them, you then have to send them a personalized email or message or outreach message. And that alone takes longer than probably both of these things combined, both of the previous steps combined. So this is how many people kind of like fail in the SMA space. I've literally had so many people tell me that they've done stuff like this. So I've literally had people tell me that they've done 10 hours worth of work, right, on outreach, and they've only reached out to 15 businesses, literally 15. 15, because they're personalizing all the emails, and you have to personalize your emails, by the way. Not only that, but there's a low barrier of entry with cold emails, which basically means everybody and anybody can go and grab an email right now and just start sending emails to any business in any area whatsoever. So that basically means it can be saturated if you aren't basically using unique offers and coming up with strong offers. And not only that, I've noticed it's kind of like a bonus con, if you will. There's no filters, right, that you can kind of like eliminate your competition on. Because like on Upwork, you can literally click on a filter and it will filter out all the jobs that have too many proposals that are being sent to them, basically. So it literally allows you to eliminate your competition, or at least limit your competition. Now, with cold emails as well, it's easy to get blacklisted, and you will get blacklisted, hence why you need to buy burner domains and pay for 2 domains at the same time. And that's because you will inevitably, it doesn't even matter how good you are at cold emails, you will inevitably kind of like get marked as spam over time. And once you start getting marked as spam, you kind of like, your email reputation goes down until you get blacklisted. Hence why you need to buy burner domains, like I said. Now, Google themselves, to be honest with you, they have all sorts of algorithms in place, all sorts of like different kind of like features they have inbuilt into their kind of like ecosystem, if you will. And they technically don't even like you sending commercial emails. Email wasn't actually really made for that. It was made as a communication tool between friends, right? So they don't really like commercial emails. They don't want you to use emails to go out there and solicit business. They actually find it, what happens is a lot of people complain to Google about how many people are actually spamming them with commercial emails, and then Google took it upon themselves to do something about that and build an algorithm to stop people from commercializingly sending emails, if that makes sense. So Google themselves don't even like it when you're spamming people with commercial emails. So that's another kind of like thing. So Google themselves don't even want you to make money via cold email. Not only that, but prospects, like kind of like touching on that point I just made there, prospects see cold emails as an unsolicited form of a way to reach out to them, which basically means they're cold. You've just gone out of your way and interrupted someone else's day to send them an email. They were chilling on their computer. They woke up in the morning or whatever it was. They went onto the computer. They've seen an email from this dude called Montel Gordon. He's got an agency. I don't care. I'm cold. I don't know who you are. They don't care, basically, is what I'm trying to say. They're cold. That basically means that cold emails is genuinely a hard skill to master. It's not just as simple as going and finding a script online and just blasting people. It's a genuine skill that you need to master. I don't really think it's for a complete beginner. There are better ways to actually start if you're a complete beginner, which obviously means there's low reply rates as well. And it has a short half-life. What I mean by short half-life, guys, is you see, like when you send a cold email to somebody, no, that doesn't really grow and build up over time. Almost like this YouTube video. Let me give you an example. Like this YouTube video here that I'm actually recording and watching right now. I could post this on YouTube. I do the work one time, post it on YouTube, but then it will start collecting views. Obviously, if it's a good video, it will start collecting views over time, and it can actually grow over time. Which, by the way, you can take this same concept and actually implement this for your agency, by the way. You can literally just start creating videos like Facebook ads for e-com businesses, and start creating videos for like e-com businesses, if that's your niche, obviously, or whatever niche you're in. Like, you know, Facebook ads for dentists. I've actually had dentists come to me as clients through my YouTube just because I've created videos on dentistry Facebook ads, literally. And that's what you call a long half-life. Now let's talk about the actual Upwork benefits, if you will. Upwork has a long half-life. Your actual account grows over time, and it gets easier and easier to close clients because you get less reviews, you get less testimonials, you get more stuff in your portfolio section, so your profile looks stronger, which basically helps your case to close clients, basically. Prospects are much warmer on the platform. They're literally sat there with their hands up, ready to hire somebody because they went out of their own way to post on their Upwork client account saying that they want to hire a freelancer to do a certain job. So they're extremely warm. They're so warm, they're actually looking to hire somebody right now. Literally, it doesn't get any warmer than that unless you run like a friggin' Facebook ad or you've got like a YouTube channel or something like that. There's no complicated kind of like DNS record setup or warm-up period, so you can get started like straight away. So it's actually much more beginner friendly. It's not complicated. You don't have to set up any DNS records. You don't have to worry about burner domains or anything like that. You can set up and get ready to go like pretty much straight away. You can literally get your first client within 2 to 3 days. I've had students close literally a 1K per month client in their first day of outreach. I am not joking. I've never even heard this before in my entire life. I am not even joking. When I first started, like restarted cold emails for the e-com niche, if you will, it took me 8 months to land my first ever client of just doing like outreach every single day. I've literally had students come into the program, close a client in 1 day. I've had them close clients in 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, first week, literally insane. So Upwork as well is great for building cash flow quickly because it's lower ticket clients. I actually genuinely reckon it's easier to sell like 10 people on a $500 per month package than it is to sell one person on like a 5K per month package, basically. And the reason for that is because you think about which one would you rather pay, 5K or $500? There you go. I mean, it doesn't take much more effort to sell a 5K package or service, if you will. It's just that people are kind of stingy with their money, if you will. Not really, not stingy. If you get the right people, they're not stingy. And there's no need to build up lead sheets or anything like that. So there's no need to do build up a lead sheet, which, you know, find leads. There's no real need to go prospecting. There's no real need to go headhunting and find the owner's email or their contact details, which obviously eliminates a whole bunch of time. And you can actually get inbound leads. I've actually had people, right? Students, even me, I actually get inbound leads all the time. But think about it, with Upwork, right? You can actually, not only can you go out of your way to go and apply to people's jobs, but they can actually invite you to their jobs, which is basically like inbound leads. That doesn't really happen with cold email. Like, how many times have you been cold emailed by a business saying, hey, we want your services for your social media management, social media marketing agency? When was the last time you did that? Never. So long story short, with Upwork, you can get inbound leads. Now, with Upwork as well, it's actually really quick. It takes about 45 to 55 minutes to apply to around 15 jobs on Upwork, not 10 hours like the previous example I basically just showed you. And you can filter out jobs that have too many people that have applied to them, so you can actually eliminate your competition. Not only that, but you can actually spy on other people's profiles and their cover letters if you know what you're doing, which then allows you to help you build your own profile on Upwork the best you possibly can, and it helps you build out the best cover letter possible. So you can actually reverse engineer what the best of the best people on Upwork are doing. Not only that, but I've actually found that if you know, like when you've got like one big client at like 5K, but then you've also got a person that has like 10 smaller clients at like $500 per month each, this guy over here is actually in a safer position, because if this guy with the 5K per month client loses this client, he goes back to zero. He's gone from 5K per month to losing that one client, he's gone back to zero. Whereas if this guy over here loses one client, he's only lost $500 per month. He actually literally has to lose all 10 clients to be in the same position as this guy. So it actually diversifies your risk, if you will. Now, Upwork cons. You can be treated as an employee if you don't know what you're doing. So some people will just see you as an employee working under them, if you will, almost like an actual fully employee. They don't treat you like an agency owner if you don't know what you're doing, that is. Some people can be turned off if you're saying that you're running an agency. You can actually get banned if you're violating terms as well, if you're caught, that is. Now, you need to be 18 years old to use Upwork, although I've literally got people in my program that are 16 years old 16 literally killing it with their agencies using Upwork. I'm not going to mention any names. I don't want them, getting found out by Upwork or anything like that, but they're literally killing it. Now, taking payments on Upwork sucks as well, by the way. They keep 20% of what you make. So if you make 1K per month, they're literally taking 20% of that, which is not cool at all. That's the worst thing of Upwork. There might or may not be a way around this, wink wink, I won't say it in this video, but long story short, taking payments on Upwork also results in you getting paid after you do the work as well. These are the two biggest things right here. These are the two biggest kind of like cons. Upwork takes 20% and you get paid after you've actually done the work, which sucks. Normally in SMA you get paid at the start of the month. With Upwork, if you're doing monthly payments, what I'd recommend you do is break it down into 4 weekly installments for the month. So 1K divided by 4, that's $250 per week. That's what I would recommend you do, and just get paid at the end of the week instead of end of the month. To apply to jobs on Upwork as well, you need to actually spend real life money to buy connects, and I actually recommend having around $216 USD to play this game. Although if I actually think about this is technically can be seen as a benefit because it eliminates even more competition. So like how anybody and their uncle can go and just get like a cold email, like an email address and send out emails to businesses. Well, with Upwork, you actually have to pay to play. And another downside of Upwork is that you can't really niche down specifically into an industry such as like dentistry or real estate or gyms or e-com. You just kind of have to go after all businesses, but just for a one service, if you will. As in social media management, but I do it for all these different industries. That's basically how you do it. And that's, by the way, that's not really a con because I know Upwork's like that anyway. I don't expect Upwork to be anything different. Now the verdict is, using Upwork, to be honest with you, is only for cash flow, but it's the quickest way to scale as a beginner because you do not have to worry about lead sourcing, prospecting, or anything like that. Super, super quick. It took me just give you some numbers, it actually took me 15 days to land me my first ever client from Upwork, which was 150 outreach in total. But for cold emails, it literally took me an entire 8 months to get me my first client, which was literally 1,600 emails in total. So what you're actually looking at is literally 150 outreach on Upwork versus 1,600 outreach. And this is to individual businesses. This is cold emails. This is Upwork outreach. As you can see, I know which one I would rather choose. Now, the cheapest option isn't always the best option. There's literally a reason why you have to pay for Upwork to play, because they've done pretty much most of the work for you. They've identified all these people that are ready to buy right there and then they're also warm leads. Not only that, but you don't have to do any lead sourcing or prospecting or anything like that. So as I was saying, so guys, if I personally, and this is like the end verdict here, guys. Now, me personally, if I had to start my agency from complete scratch, right, I would 100% recommend using Upwork to scale to at least 2.5K net profit first, right? So the way how I would do this, I would start my agency again. I would stack up the money to make sure that I've got enough, which is $216 US. I'd literally work at Uber Eats job. I would literally sell stuff on eBay just to make sure I've got 216 USD coming in, right? And then what I would do is I'd take that money and I'd go to Upwork and invest it into connects, applying to social media management jobs. Any job that literally mentions the words post on my social media or anything like that, I would literally just go after social media management jobs. And then what I would do is I'd continue to master Upwork, just Upwork on its own. I wouldn't even do anything else, just Upwork. I'd forget cold emails, I'd forget all these other cold outreach methods and just use Upwork until I got to literally 2.5K net profit with my agency through social media management clients. Then after I've done that, I would introduce cold emails slowly by taking the money that I'm using from Upwork and investing it into hiring virtual assistants to do my cold emails for me so that I can get higher ticket clients outside of the Upwork platform. This is literally the hybrid system. Literally, I created it. And I teach it basically in its entirety inside of instrumentation. So I teach everything from the Upwork stuff to how to build your profile, how to get clients using Upwork, even if you're a complete beginner and you never sold anything before, to stacking up using Upwork, to closing the sales on Upwork, to then moving over and transitioning into cold emails, writing scripts, coming up with offers, and then hiring virtual assistants, training them up as well. I even give you my own internal training that I give my actual virtual assistants so you can see how I train them. And that's basically what I teach inside of instrumentation. So if you want to enroll in that, again, the link is below. And again, you're not going to find this system elsewhere. I'm not even joking. I literally created this system from scratch. I'm not even joking. I'm literally the originator of this system. Gurus are probably going to steal this very, very soon because it literally just makes sense. Use a warmer traffic source, build up cash flow, then go after a colder traffic source by multiplying yourself and duplicating yourself with virtual assistants. That's basically what it is. Anyway, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this particular video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Take this video, soak it in, see the differences between cold emails. Again, both of these methods work. You technically can skip over Upwork and go after cold emails, but if you're going to do it yourself, honestly, guys, it's one of the most draining, tedious, time-consuming things you can ever do. But does it work? Yes. Obviously, business is not supposed to be, I don't know, airy-fairy, fun all the time. So yes, if you can't use Upwork, you can use other platforms such as like building a personal brand, or you can go to Facebook groups and stuff like that. If you're under 18, you can't use Upwork for whatever reason. But I do recommend having some sort of cash flow coming in so you can actually hire out your outreach. Even if you have to work a job. If you're 16, you just go and work a job and then actually just go and use like a virtual assistant to actually do your cold email. That's what I would do if I were you guys. Again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video though, guys. So what I'll do is I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace.